Here I am down here working in the basement on a painting, and that horrendous noise is Dad playing with his new enormous water blaster. And he has special yellow clothes for when he uses it. I'll see if I can get a picture because it's quite funny. Oh, he's not wearing his yellow shiny pajama sort of thing. I don't know why. I like it when he does. It's very funny. Oh, him and Mum get into... They have very different agendas with water blasters. Mum wants the house cleaned and he just likes water blasting all the paths, and then the dirt sort of flicks up from the path onto the house and she gets all furious, and it's an ongoing complaint, and it's really quite funny. Well, this is a first. That sound is so horrendous I'm actually going to put earmuffs on to paint. My goodness. Oh, thank goodness that finally stopped and I can take these off. Yes, I keep my books spread out so I can just keep the same sort of theme going. Oh yeah, the toilet paper is not because I have a cold, it's because sometimes I make mistakes with my paint, and a very effective way of lifting it off my paper is with toilet paper. And I always think it's really interesting before it gets the final layer of paint and the pen lines in. They look so yuck. But that will turn out pretty nice once it's finished, I think. Here's hoping. Alternatively, we can just call the plate, sorry, it's quite late, modern art. And when I get famous, I can probably sell that for more than the painting. Hello all, it's Ruth Marie Hamilton. I'm going to be reading to you today from my mum's book, Little House in the Bush by Wendy Hamilton, about growing up in New Zealand. Well, I'm very pleased about that. We got a new washing basket because our old washing basket was plastic and it completely fallen to bits, and we were in the supermarket and Dad said, "Oh, should we get this washing basket?" And he pointed to a plastic one, and Mum and me were like, "No, we want a pretty washing basket." Poor Dad. It must be very hard to be a scientist living with two artists, but we have a pretty washing basket. Gosh, you could just about make a flower arrangement in that, couldn't you? And there goes Mum, off to get me spices for my pumpkin. And she's coming back. That's strange. She's gone up the garden path. That's the wrong way. She should be going to town to get me spices for my pumpkin cake. Oh, good, there she goes. Bye-bye, Mum. Don't forget my spices. Thank you. Living at home is so good. Oh, here comes Mum. And she appears to have my spices. I hope those are my spices. This made me laugh. I've just finished making a video about using a historical flower arranging technique, and then I turned around and I looked at this, and I've got my two stands set up for my phone, and I thought, it's just a bit incongruous, isn't it? But I think that's the lovely thing about being alive today. We can enjoy the progress of the time we live in, but we can also enjoy, you know, the lovely things from the past. I think it's good to get that balance right, and I thought that just sort of encapsulated that, so I took a picture of it. Also, do check out my video under my flower arranging section on my YouTube channel to learn how to make that using a really old and frankly very easy technique. I think you'll enjoy it. Well, here's the thing that we grew in our garden by accident, and we were trying to work out what it was, and I found out that it's actually some kind of American heritage pumpkin known as a Cushaw squash. I'm not quite sure how to say that, but the Australians call it something else. I was talking to an Australian gardener, and she said that is a trombone. And my American friends, you will have to forgive me. You know, I absolutely adore you and I love your country, but I think I'd much rather grow a patch of trombones than a patch of squashes. I suppose it's the children's author in me. But am I wrong? It is a fun name. It really is. And this trombone is about to be chopped up and turned into a cake because he certainly has a delicious flavour. At least his brother had a delicious flavour, so I assume he'll be just as tasty. I'll go and see what Mum's doing, and as I go up the stairs you can have a look at our staircase that we made to resemble an illuminated manuscript without the words. Mum and me worked on that, and Dad came home one evening and found it done, and he wasn't nearly as complimentary as he should have been, because it's very beautiful. At least that's what we told each other as we did it. Hello Mum, what are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing the final edit of my book on the American Pilgrims.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Charlene Newell wants to know, do you wear your special pilgrim hat?
No, although that is a really good idea. I need to find it and
If she finds it, Charlene, I will take a picture of it for you. So here we have the trombone cake, or pumpkin cake, and it looks pretty good and it smells amazing. A skewer came out clean, but it certainly wobbles a bit. So I think, because this is an eggless cake, I better let it sit properly before I try and unmold it. I'll let you know how it turns out. And you can get the recipe for it on my blog over at Me and the BFG, and you can find a link for that in my bio on YouTube. So there's my ginger pumpkin cake, and you won't be getting the recipe this week because we were short on flour, so I made it with 1.5 cups of flour, and I think it needed an extra cup of flour, and it's turned out quite oily. Believe me, I'm still going to eat it because it still smells really yummy, but I think I'll perfect it before I put it up. That is not oil on the top. I did a sort of salted caramel glaze which turned out really well, but I think it could be a little bit better. Anyway, that's the daily doings around Rosebank House for the week. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye bye.